What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mohawk Motors. My name is Jason. So today, I've got a pretty quick video for you, but it's something that I've seen a lot of people ask questions about, and I think there's a lot of misconception that you need special tools or it needs to be taken to the machine shop to be done correctly, and that is freeze plugs. Some people call them core plugs, but they are these little stamped steel, most often, sometimes brass, sometimes stainless steel plugs. And you can find them in cylinder heads. You can find them in engine blocks. And these are basically holes left over to remove the sand from the water passages that are cast internally into that component. So I have this one here in this cylinder head, and you can see it's got a hole in it right there. Well, obviously that's going to be a coolant leak. So I need to replace this freeze plug, and I'm just going to replace both freeze plugs in this head, and I'm going to show you how to do it. You really don't need any special tools, a hammer, a punch, and a socket that fits that freeze plug well. And I like to use some red Loctite to help make sure it seals and stays where it belongs. So let me set you up here where you can see what I'm doing and show you how to do this. All right, so I've got my head here. First step to replacing these freeze plugs is to get the old ones out, right? So all you need is a punch and a hammer, and choose one side of that freeze plug and tap down. Essentially what you're trying to do here is get the freeze plug to tip and rotate without coming out, like so. And once you get it to that point, use some pliers or whatever, grab a hold of it and pull it out. You can see this one was really corroded on the inside, and it actually ate a hole through it. And once you do that, I'm going to take a rag. Just get any loose debris or anything knocked off of that opening. You don't want to use any kind of abrasive or anything that's going to change the diameter of that hole, because your new freeze plug, it's a press fit. So if you make this diameter too large, this freeze plug will not stay in place the way it's supposed to, and it'll push out when the cooling system pressurizes. So now all we need to do is put our new one in. Like I said, I like to use red Loctite on these because I don't want them ever coming out, and I want to make sure that they're watertight. In this case, most often you want to be watertight with a freeze plug. Get this opened up here. There we go. So once you have your Loctite ready, you're going to need to install this. Again, no special tools required. I just am going to use a socket with a little bit of an extension on it. You want your socket to fit inside the freeze plug, so you're driving on essentially this inside corner where the sides cup up. You want to be pushing as close to that as possible as you're pushing it in. So I've got this in place. I'll get my little bit of red Loctite, just smear it around on the outside edge. Just a dab will do, team. Just a dab will do. You don't need a film or a bead. Correction. All you're looking for here is just a slight film all the way around. Because remember, this is a press fit. So this Loctite is really just acting as a little bit of extra insurance and extra sealing to make sure we don't get any leaks. Wipe that off. Get your freeze plug into position here. Now remember, you want to get this thing in there as straight as possible. Just a few little taps. Get it in nice and straight. Sink it just below the surface, just like your old one was. Nice and even. Right there. And that's it. Take your rag. Wipe off any excess Loctite that squished off, scraped off as you were driving it in. And there you go. New freeze plug installed. Nothing to it, piece of cake. So considering how corroded that other one was, I'm going to do the other side the same way. And then I'm going to let my Loctite set and cure for a while before I put this back on the engine. Just like the other side. Drive on one side until it rotates in the hole. Some pliers, pull it out of there. Wipe out any of the debris that's in your bore. Got a nice clean opening. Place here where we need it. Voila. And there we go. Nice new freeze plugs in this head. And that'll be sealed up just fine. By the time I get the head back onto the engine, bolted down the way it's supposed to be, that Loctite will be cured. And I'll be able to put this thing back together, fill it up with antifreeze, and back to where I need to be. So, ta-da. So there you go, everybody. New freeze plugs in my cylinder head here. The process is the same. To my knowledge, no matter what you're doing freeze plugs in, an engine block, a cylinder head, I've seen freeze plugs in castings on transmissions. If it's a press-in freeze plug, 99% of them, that's how they go back together. Pretty easy, no special tools required, and in most cases, the most difficult part of the job is getting access to it. Occasionally, a freeze plug on an engine block will be accessible with the engine still in the car, but most of the time, you're going to need to get it out of the vehicle in order to fix that freeze plug. So, I hope this helps you, everybody. You know, another little thing that you can do at home in the garage. You don't have to pay anybody. You don't need special tools. Hopefully this helps you fix yours if you ever have a problem, or if you're just replacing them. And that's it. Until the next video, everybody, take care.